Hello friends. Have you ever wondered what happens when the sensitive, nurturing Cancer man meets the ambitious, disciplined Capricorn woman? At first glance, they might seem like total opposites. He's ruled by the moon, guided by emotion and intuition, while she's ruled by Saturn, grounded in reality and structure. But as with many cosmic opposites, there's an undeniable magnetism between them, a kind of chemistry that feels like the tide being drawn to the shore. Steady, rhythmic, and deeply familiar. After watching, if you'd like to support the channel, click the Thanks button right under this video or use the donation alerts link in the description. Your support really helps me keep creating. And of course, if you enjoy the content, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks so much for being here. Now let's continue. Let's dive deep into this fascinating pairing and see how their energies intertwine in love, passion, and life itself. Chemistry. Initial attraction. When a Cancer man first lays eyes on a Capricorn woman, it's not a lightning bolt kind of attraction. It's quieter, deeper, and strangely magnetic, like an invisible current running beneath the surface of calm waters. He notices her before she notices him. She's composed, focused, maybe talking about work or sipping her coffee with that perfectly measured grace that comes so naturally to her. There's something about the way she moves, not flashy, not attention-seeking, but purposeful. She's like a well-built structure in a world full of temporary shelters, and he, a creature of emotion, instantly senses that she's someone who won't crumble at the first sign of a storm. Cancer is a man ruled by feelings. His world is made of tides, moods, and intuition. When he meets Capricorn, he feels the ground beneath him solidify for the first time in a long while. He's drawn to her stability like a sailor spotting the first glimpse of land after a long voyage. Her calm demeanor doesn't intimidate him, it soothes him. It gives him the sense that there's something, or someone, who can hold steady even when he's overwhelmed by his own emotional depths. To him, she's not cold. She's composed, and that composure is intoxicating. Capricorn woman, on the other hand, notices the Cancer man differently. At first, she might not pay him much attention. She's practical, focused, and cautious with her emotions. But there's something about the softness in his eyes that catches her guard off balance. It's not lust or bravado that draws her in, it's warmth. A kind of warmth that promises safety rather than danger. He listens when she speaks, not to reply, but to understand. And that's something rare in her world, a world built on performance, goals, and achievements. With Cancer, she senses an authenticity that can't be faked. In their earliest interactions, there's an unspoken dialogue happening between them. His gaze lingers a little longer than expected, not out of boldness but genuine admiration. She pretends not to notice. Capricorn women always pretend not to notice, but her heart beats just a little faster. She doesn't show it, of course. Saturn, her ruling planet, teaches her discipline even in emotion. But inside, she feels an unfamiliar tug, the curiosity of what it might feel like to be truly seen, not for what she does, but for who she is. Cancer senses her hesitation, but he's patient. He doesn't push, doesn't demand, doesn't overwhelm. That patience becomes the first brick in the foundation of their chemistry. He gives her space, yet his presence is constant, a gentle tide that comes and goes but never disappears. Capricorn begins to trust that rhythm. She starts to look for him in the crowd, to anticipate his messages, to wonder what he's thinking. And when she finally allows herself to meet his emotional openness, she finds it strangely refreshing, even liberating. Their chemistry is elemental, not fiery and chaotic, but earthy and fluid. Water meets earth. Cancer's emotions seep gently into Capricorn's strong exterior, softening it. Capricorn's steadiness contains his waves, shaping them into something lasting. It's a paradox that makes perfect sense. He nourishes, she sustains. He dreams, she plans. He feels, she executes. Together, they create a rhythm that feels natural, as if they've been dancing this way for lifetimes. There's an undeniable pull between them, one that transcends surface attraction. Cancer is captivated by her ability to remain poised even in tense situations. He admires her discipline, her ambition, and the way she carries herself, like a woman who doesn't need anyone, but chooses carefully who she lets in. That very independence becomes his fascination. He wants to understand what lies behind her composure, what makes her smile when no one's looking, what she dreams of when she finally lets herself rest. Capricorn woman, in turn, becomes intrigued by his sensitivity. It's a quality she doesn't often see in the world, where vulnerability is mistaken for weakness. But in him, vulnerability is strength, it's courage wrapped in kindness. When they talk, there's depth. Conversations that start with simple topics somehow drift into confessions, shared memories, and unspoken dreams. He listens, and she, despite herself, starts revealing pieces of her that she usually keeps locked away. She might not tell him everything, but she tells him more than she's told anyone in a long time. And he treasures that, every word, every glance, every hesitant smile. There's also a physical tension between them that builds slowly, like a low hum under the surface. Cancer's energy is inviting, protective, and safe. Capricorn's is restrained, but not resistant, more like she's testing the waters before diving in. When their hands finally touch, it's not explosive, but deeply grounding. It's the kind of touch that says, "You can trust this." And trust is everything to both of them. The beauty of their attraction lies in its contradictions. He's emotional, she's rational. He moves with his heart, she with her mind. But instead of clashing, these differences become the magnetic poles that pull them together. He fills the spaces she didn't realize were empty. She gives him the structure he didn't know he needed. Together, they balance the scales, water and earth, feeling and reason, dream and duty. Over time, their initial chemistry evolves into something more complex, more intimate. Capricorn learns to relax, to let the armor slip. Cancer learns to be steady, to not let his emotions sweep him away. They meet each other in the middle, where passion and peace coexist. When she laughs at one of his intuitive jokes, or he catches the rare moment when she lets her guard down completely, it feels like the world stops for just a second, as if the universe itself is acknowledging that this connection was meant to be. In a world where love often burns out as quickly as it begins, theirs glows steadily, a candle protected from the wind. It's not the kind of chemistry that announces itself loudly. It's quiet, enduring, and deeply felt. They may come from different emotional worlds, but somehow, when Cancer man and Capricorn woman find each other, it feels like home. Emotional dynamics. This is where the true story of Cancer man and Capricorn woman begins to unfold, quietly, profoundly, sometimes beautifully messy, like the shifting tide beneath a calm-looking surface. For Cancer, emotion isn't just a passing mood. It's the air he breathes, the invisible current guiding every decision, every gesture, every heartbeat. He doesn't just feel love, he lives it. His emotions surge and ebb like ocean waves, powerful and unpredictable, illuminated by the pull of his ruling moon. One day he's radiating affection and warmth. The next, he's quietly retreating into his shell, nursing feelings no one else can see. To love him is to learn the language of his tides, and few can read that language as carefully as the Capricorn woman, even if she doesn't show it right away. Capricorn, in contrast, is composed, the embodiment of control. Her emotions run deep, but they're locked behind a dam she built long ago, brick by brick, to survive in a world that rewards logic over vulnerability. She feels everything: disappointment, love, hope, fear, but she filters those feelings through a lens of caution. For her, emotion must be earned, trusted, proven safe. While Cancer spills his heart like water across the floor, she contains hers like wine in a sealed bottle, opened only for those who have truly proven their worth. To outsiders, she may appear reserved or distant, but underneath her polished exterior lies a heart that beats with quiet intensity, longing to trust someone enough to be seen without armor. When these two meet in the emotional realm, it's like a dance between caution and openness, defense and surrender. Cancer looks at her and wonders why she hides behind so many walls. Capricorn looks at him and wonders how he dares to live so exposed. To him, emotions are connection; to her, they're risk. Their dynamic is a constant exchange between his desire to nurture and her need to protect. He offers his heart freely, expecting warmth and tenderness in return, while she offers her reliability and loyalty, believing that consistency is the truest form of love. At first, this difference can be confusing, even painful. Cancer, who thrives on emotional reciprocity, may mistake her restraint for indifference. He sends affection, a gentle text, a thoughtful gesture, a moment of vulnerability, and when she doesn't immediately mirror it, he retreats into himself, questioning whether she truly cares. He doesn't yet realize that, for Capricorn, love isn't expressed in spontaneous bursts of emotion. It's built over time, through action, dependability, and silent understanding. When she shows up, when she keeps her word, when she quietly takes care of something he forgot, when she steadies him during one of his mood swings, that's her way of saying I love you. Cancer's challenge is to see love not only in words or warmth, but in structure, in the way she builds a safe foundation for their connection. Capricorn's challenge, meanwhile, is to learn that vulnerability is not weakness. Through Cancer's presence, she begins to see that emotion can be a source of strength, not chaos. He shows her that it's okay to cry without shame, to ask for comfort, to lean on someone and not fear collapse. His empathy is his gift, a quiet, transformative magic that slowly melts the ice around her heart. He doesn't force her walls down, he warms them until they fall naturally. As time passes, the exchange deepens. Cancer learns patience, the art of loving someone who doesn't express affection in the same rhythm as he does. He realizes that her steadiness is its own kind of passion, that her silence often hides profound care. Capricorn, in turn, begins to soften. She starts to express her emotions more freely. A lingering touch, a heartfelt thank you, a moment of eye contact that says more than words ever could. These gestures might seem small, but for her, they are monumental acts of trust. The beauty of their emotional dynamic lies in this gradual unfolding. There's no rush, no explosion of drama. Instead, their love matures slowly, like fine wine aging in a dark cellar. Each experience, every disagreement, every tender reconciliation, becomes a lesson in emotional fluency. Cancer learns resilience, Capricorn learns surrender. He stops fearing her silences. She stops fearing his depth. They begin to communicate in a shared emotional language, where his sensitivity doesn't scare her, and her composure doesn't wound him. In moments of conflict, their contrasting temperaments test their connection. Cancer, when hurt, tends to withdraw or become moody, hoping she'll notice his pain and reach out. Capricorn, uncomfortable with emotional displays, might retreat into logic, trying to fix the problem rather than feel it. At first, this creates friction, but over time, as their understanding grows, they start to bridge this gap. Cancer learns to voice his needs calmly, to explain his emotions without drowning in them. Capricorn learns to listen not just with her mind, but with her heart, to respond with empathy rather than solutions. Their emotional bond deepens most profoundly in quiet moments, late-night talks, shared silences, the simple comfort of being near one another. When Capricorn finally lets her guard down completely, when she allows him to see her vulnerability, it's not a dramatic confession but a quiet revelation. Maybe it's a soft tear she doesn't bother to hide, or the way her voice trembles when she tells him about her fears. And Cancer, ever the nurturer, doesn't judge or rush in to save her. He simply holds the space, gentle, patient, safe. In that space, Capricorn discovers something new. That being emotionally open doesn't lead to chaos, it leads to connection. In return, she grounds him. When his emotions threaten to overflow, when his insecurities whisper that he's too much or not enough, she becomes his anchor. She steadies his tides, reminding him through calm presence that feelings don't have to dictate every moment. Her strength gives him confidence, his compassion gives her freedom. Together, they create a balance that neither could achieve alone. The perfect blend of water's sensitivity and earth's endurance. Over the years, this dynamic becomes the heart of their relationship. Their love isn't built on fireworks, but on mutual evolution. Cancer becomes emotionally stronger, learning to balance feeling with wisdom. Capricorn becomes emotionally freer, learning to balance control with openness. Each brings out the best in the other. They teach each other that love isn't about changing who you are, but expanding who you can become. And when they finally reach that level of understanding, when Cancer looks at Capricorn and sees not just the woman who keeps him grounded, but the woman who's learned to feel because of him, and when Capricorn looks at Cancer and sees not just the man who feels deeply, but the man who's learned to endure because of her, that's when their emotional connection transcends ordinary love. It becomes something timeless, sacred, and unbreakable. Because in the end, Cancer teaches Capricorn that emotions are the color of life, and Capricorn teaches Cancer that stability is the frame that lets those colors shine. They don't just balance each other, they complete each other. Long-term compatibility. Longevity. It's the word that defines this pairing more than any other. When a Cancer man and Capricorn woman come together, the potential for a lasting, deeply rooted relationship is extraordinary, but it doesn't come without effort. Their love is not the impulsive spark of youth that burns fast and fades away. It's the steady, deliberate kind of fire that's built with care, fed with trust, and protected through patience. It's the kind of love that matures like an old oak tree, its roots deep, its branches wide, and its shade comforting to those lucky enough to stand beneath it. The Cancer man, ruled by the moon, moves through life guided by emotion and intuition. He seeks permanence in a world that constantly changes, desiring not just love but belonging, a sense that someone, somewhere, is home. For him, long-term compatibility means emotional safety, shared values, and a partner who understands the subtle tides of his inner world. He's not interested in fleeting passion or surface-level connection. He wants a life partner with whom he can build both a family and a future. The Capricorn woman, ruled by Saturn, sees love as a structure, something that must be built with precision, effort, and dedication. She doesn't dive headfirst into romance without first assessing its foundation. For her, long-term compatibility isn't about constant emotional highs, but about stability, trust, and shared purpose. She wants a partnership that endures, one that grows stronger with every challenge faced together. Where Cancer dreams of a cozy home filled with warmth and affection, Capricorn dreams of a life built on mutual respect, achievement, and security. And when these dreams merge, they form one of the most powerful unions in the zodiac. Their long-term success lies in the harmony between heart and structure, the emotional depth of Cancer paired with the pragmatic discipline of Capricorn. Cancer is the nurturer. He builds comfort, intimacy, and emotional richness. Capricorn is the architect. She builds systems, order, and longevity. Together, they create a partnership that is both emotionally fulfilling and materially stable, a rare combination that can stand the test of time. In the early years of their relationship, their focus may differ. Cancer may be the one eager to settle down, imagining candlelit dinners, family traditions, and the warmth of shared memories. Capricorn, while equally committed, will be thinking about financial stability, long-term planning, and the practical logistics of building a shared life. To the untrained eye, these goals might seem misaligned, but in truth, they complement one another perfectly. He brings the soul to the structure she builds. She brings the foundation to the dreams he envisions. It's as though they are constructing a house. He furnishes it with feeling, and she ensures it will never collapse. Still, this harmony doesn't arrive overnight. Long-term compatibility between them is a gradual evolution, a journey of learning and adjusting. Cancer must learn that Capricorn's way of expressing love is not always through tender words or emotional displays, but through action, the bills paid on time, the careful planning of their future, the reliability that anchors their world. Capricorn, in turn, must understand that for Cancer, love is a language of emotion. He needs affection, reassurance, and acknowledgement. When she takes a moment to truly listen, to hold his hand, to speak softly to his fears, she finds that her steady world becomes warmer, softer, more alive. As years pass, their differences, the very things that once created misunderstanding, become their greatest strengths. When life throws storms their way, Cancer's emotional intuition helps them navigate through uncertainty. He senses when something is wrong before she even speaks it aloud. Capricorn's resilience ensures that no matter how turbulent things become, their ship stays afloat. Together, they become a team capable of facing anything, whether it's financial hardship, family challenges, or personal transformation. Their relationship thrives on loyalty. Neither takes commitment lightly. Cancer, once he gives his heart, is devoted to the end. Capricorn, once she commits, will work tirelessly to maintain what they've built. They are not the couple that gives up easily. They fight for each other, not against each other. Over time, their trust grows stronger, forming an invisible bond that even silence cannot break. There may be seasons of distance, times when their responsibilities pull them in different directions, but they always find their way back, drawn by a sense of purpose and an unspoken promise: we're in this together. In long-term compatibility, they complement each other's weaknesses. Cancer softens Capricorn's edges, reminding her that life is more than goals and deadlines. He helps her slow down, savor the moment, and rediscover the joy of simplicity. She, in turn, strengthens his emotional foundation, teaching him to stand tall in the face of adversity and to transform his sensitivity into resilience. She shows him that love can be practical, that devotion isn't just felt, it's proven daily through consistency and loyalty. Their home becomes their sanctuary. It's where Cancer's nurturing spirit meets Capricorn's need for order. He fills the space with warmth, laughter, and memories. She ensures that everything runs smoothly, efficiently, and securely. Together, they create an environment that radiates both comfort and success, a perfect blend of emotional and material well-being. Friends often admire them, sensing that quiet strength that comes from true partnership, the kind that doesn't need to boast or display itself loudly, because it's rooted in something real. As they grow older together, their connection deepens rather than fades. They evolve not only as lovers but as allies, mentors, and companions. Cancer remains the emotional heartbeat of their relationship, keeping it alive with affection and empathy. Capricorn remains its backbone, ensuring that their shared life remains grounded and protected. When one falters, the other steps forward. When one dreams, the other builds the path. It's a partnership that thrives on mutual respect, shared effort, and enduring faith in each other. Of course, longevity also requires emotional balance. Cancer must remember that Capricorn's practicality is not emotional neglect, it's her way of providing security. Her love might not come wrapped in constant verbal reassurance, but in the quiet comfort of her dependability. And Capricorn must remember that Cancer's sensitivity is not weakness, it's the soul of their bond. His emotions are what give their life together meaning and color. When they recognize and honor these truths, their connection becomes nearly unbreakable. Over decades, their love becomes a story of quiet strength, not one of dramatic gestures or fiery passions, but of steady devotion and shared growth. They build memories, traditions, and a legacy that extends beyond themselves. Cancer's children feel loved because of his warmth. Capricorn's family thrives because of her structure. Together, they create a home that stands as a testament to what happens when two opposites choose not to fight their differences but to build upon them. Ultimately, their long-term compatibility is not based on luck or fleeting attraction. It's built through effort, empathy, and endurance. They are the couple who weathers storms hand in hand, who argue but never part in anger, who celebrate victories not with extravagance but with quiet gratitude. Their love matures gracefully, like a lighthouse standing tall through endless seasons, guiding each other safely through both the calm and the tempest. For the Cancer man and Capricorn woman, forever isn't just a dream, it's a decision. And once they make it, they keep it. Communication conflict resolution. Communication between a Cancer man and a Capricorn woman is like learning a new language, one written in both poetry and mathematics. At first, it can feel like they're speaking across an invisible ocean. He uses emotion as his compass, while she charts her words with precision and restraint. Yet when they finally learn how to translate each other's dialects, when feeling and logic meet halfway, something remarkable happens. Their connection evolves from occasional misunderstanding to a profound, almost telepathic understanding built on trust, respect, and emotional fluency. Cancer, ruled by the moon, communicates in tides. His words come from emotion, intuition, and a deep need to connect. When he speaks, he's not just relaying information, he's sharing energy, trying to be understood on a soulful level. He feels first, speaks second, and analyzes last. This makes him deeply empathetic, but also vulnerable to emotional misfires. A sigh, a silence, or a misinterpreted expression from Capricorn can easily send him into introspection, wondering what went wrong. Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, lives in a world where words carry weight and timing matters. She doesn't waste speech, every sentence has a purpose. She's measured, deliberate, and careful not to let emotions dictate her words. To her, language is a tool for solving problems, not for swimming through feelings. When Cancer expresses hurt, she might respond with logic, trying to fix the situation rather than comfort him emotionally. Her restraint can make her seem detached, even when her heart is fully engaged. To her, silence is not avoidance, it's thoughtfulness, the space where solutions are born. This difference in communication styles is both their biggest obstacle and their greatest gift. When unbalanced, it leads to frustration. Cancer feels unheard, Capricorn feels overwhelmed. But when they take the time to understand each other's rhythms, their communication becomes something extraordinary, a merging of heart and reason, emotion and logic. In the early stages, Cancer may pour his heart out, only to be met with Capricorn's calm and analytical demeanor. He might interpret this as indifference, not realizing that she's processing, weighing every word, every nuance before responding. Capricorn, in turn, might find his emotional candor disarming, even unsettling. She's used to control, to keeping her thoughts and feelings neatly compartmentalized. His openness forces her to confront the raw, unfiltered side of connection, something she simultaneously resists and secretly craves. As they grow together, a shift begins. Cancer learns that her silences aren't cold, they're contemplative. He starts to see the care behind her measured words, the devotion hidden in her pauses. Capricorn begins to understand that his emotions aren't volatility, they're intimacy. His vulnerability becomes her teacher. She realizes that communication isn't only about clarity, it's also about compassion. Her sharp logic softens, and his sensitivity strengthens. They start to meet each other halfway. He becomes more patient with her process, and she becomes more expressive with her feelings. When conflict arises, their instincts diverge. Cancer's natural response is to seek emotional closure, to talk it out, to reconnect, to make sure love hasn't been lost in the noise of disagreement. Silence, to him, feels like rejection. He needs reassurance, a hug, a conversation that restores safety. Capricorn's instinct, however, is to withdraw. She pulls back, not out of cruelty but out of necessity, to think, to cool down, to regain composure before she speaks. She fears saying something impulsive that could wound or escalate. To Cancer, her withdrawal can feel like abandonment. To Capricorn, his insistence can feel suffocating. Their challenge, and their opportunity, lies in recognizing that both approaches come from care, not conflict. Cancer must learn that her retreat is not rejection but recalibration. Capricorn must learn that his desire to talk is not pressure but love. When they find this understanding, their conflicts transform from battles into bridges. She begins to reassure him before withdrawing, perhaps with a quiet, "I just need time to think, but I'm not leaving you." He learns to give her space without spiraling into insecurity, trusting that she'll return once she's processed her emotions. In moments of real tension, Cancer's emotional honesty becomes a guiding light. His ability to articulate what he feels, without blame, without manipulation, helps Capricorn see the human side of conflict, the beating heart beneath the logic. And when Capricorn does speak, her words carry the calm authority of truth. Her groundedness soothes his emotional turbulence. Together, they create balance. He brings warmth to her coolness, she brings stability to his sensitivity. One of the most beautiful aspects of their communication is the way they evolve through time. In the beginning, their conversations might be marked by misunderstanding. His tears, her silence, his need for validation, her need for space. But years later, something changes. They begin to anticipate each other's needs instinctively. Cancer learns when to give her quiet moments. Capricorn learns when to hold him close. Their dialogue becomes wordless, a shared glance, a reassuring touch, an understanding smile. They no longer need to speak as much because they've built a foundation of trust that speaks for them. Even their disagreements, when handled with maturity, deepen their bond. Cancer's empathy allows him to forgive quickly. Capricorn's steadiness ensures that every fight ends with growth, not resentment. She respects his emotional courage, his willingness to be vulnerable even when it's uncomfortable. He admires her strength, her ability to stay calm and focused even when emotions run high. Over time, this mutual respect becomes their anchor, the reason they keep choosing each other despite their differences. Their communication thrives when they create emotional safety. Cancer must feel that his feelings are not dismissed as overreactions, while Capricorn must feel that her practicality is not criticized as coldness. When they honor these needs, conversations flow effortlessly. They talk about everything: their fears, dreams, finances, families, future plans. They may not always agree, but they always listen. And listening, for them, becomes an act of love. In long-term relationships, communication becomes their shared masterpiece. Cancer learns to express himself without drowning in emotion. Capricorn learns to speak from the heart instead of the mind. Together, they create a rhythm, a give and take of expression and reflection, emotion and reason, love and logic. Their conversations are not just about solving problems but about building intimacy, reaffirming the sacred space they share. Eventually, they realize that the key to conflict resolution is not about winning or losing, it's about preserving connection. They fight not to prove a point, but to find a path back to each other. Cancer may bring the first apology, not out of guilt, but out of love. Capricorn, in her grounded grace, accepts it and offers her own. There's no scorekeeping, no ego, just mutual effort to understand and grow. And perhaps that's the most powerful thing about their communication. It evolves into understanding that transcends words. Their silences become comfortable, their disagreements become lessons, and their exchanges, no matter how small, become a form of devotion. Cancer learns that strength can exist in quiet, and Capricorn learns that quiet can coexist with tenderness. When they finally master this delicate dance, when emotion meets reason and heart meets mind, their communication becomes the heartbeat of their relationship. It's the pulse that keeps their love alive through decades of change, proving that even the most different souls can learn to speak in harmony when they listen with love. Physical intimate connection. When it comes to the physical and intimate world between a Cancer man and a Capricorn woman, the connection is far more than skin deep. It's the meeting of two elemental forces that balance and complete each other. Their chemistry is not loud or impulsive, but rather a slow, powerful current that builds over time, intensifying as trust grows. It begins subtly, a glance that lingers, a touch that speaks more than words ever could, and evolves into something profound, transformative, and deeply grounding. For these two, physical intimacy is not simply about pleasure. It's a sacred expression of emotional truth, a reflection of their growing bond and mutual understanding. At first, their physical connection may take time to develop. Cancer, ever the romantic, moves through intimacy with a sense of emotional purpose. He seeks meaning behind every touch, connection behind every kiss. For him, passion without emotional depth feels hollow, incomplete. He craves the kind of closeness that feels safe, tender, and soul-deep. Capricorn, meanwhile, approaches intimacy with cautious control. She values sensuality, but she is not one to rush into vulnerability. To her, physical closeness is something earned through trust and respect, not impulsive desire. She must feel secure, emotionally, mentally, even spiritually, before she can surrender fully to her partner. It's not that she lacks passion, rather, she guards it fiercely until she knows it's safe to reveal. This difference in pace creates a beautiful tension between them, a slow burn that simmers quietly beneath the surface. Cancer's patience and emotional intuition become the key that unlocks Capricorn's guarded sensuality. He senses her boundaries instinctively and never pushes beyond what she's ready to give. His touch is reassuring, his gaze tender, his energy protective. In his arms, she begins to feel the kind of safety that allows her to let go. For the first time in a long time, she can exhale, knowing she's with someone who won't take her vulnerability for granted. That realization alone ignites something powerful within her, a deep, unspoken desire to connect not just physically, but soulfully. Capricorn's sensuality, when finally revealed, surprises even Cancer. Beneath her composed and self-disciplined exterior lies a reservoir of passion that runs deep and steady, like lava beneath stone. She may not display it openly, but when she feels truly loved and secure, her intensity is unmatched. She's not interested in fleeting thrills or surface-level affection. She wants depth, devotion, and authenticity. And that's exactly what Cancer provides. His natural ability to tune into her emotions, to sense what she needs without words, makes their physical bond transcend the ordinary. For Capricorn, who often lives in her head, Cancer's touch brings her back into her body. He reminds her that she's allowed to feel, to surrender to pleasure, to softness, to love without calculation. For Cancer, physical intimacy with Capricorn is an act of emotional expression. Every gesture, every caress, is a way of saying I'm here with you, I see you, I cherish you. He is attentive and intuitive, reading her cues with the sensitivity of someone who loves deeply. He doesn't rush, he listens with his hands, his eyes, his heart. His ability to blend tenderness with desire creates a space where she can trust the moment, where the act of love becomes a shared language rather than a fleeting indulgence. Capricorn, in return, brings intensity and focus. When she finally opens herself to him, she's fully present, not distracted, not hesitant. She gives herself completely, body and soul, and expects the same in return. This mutual devotion transforms their physical connection into something almost spiritual. Over time, their intimacy becomes an anchor, a place of renewal and balance. In a world that often feels chaotic and demanding, their private moments together serve as a refuge, a space where everything else fades away. Cancer, with his nurturing energy, finds fulfillment in making her feel adored and safe. Capricorn, with her strength and groundedness, provides him with a sense of permanence and belonging. Their physical connection becomes a silent dialogue, one that expresses what words cannot. When life gets difficult, when misunderstandings arise or responsibilities weigh them down, it is in these intimate moments that they find their way back to each other. For Cancer, the joy lies in nurturing her pleasure, in watching her unfold, slowly, beautifully, like a flower opening under moonlight. For Capricorn, the satisfaction lies in surrendering to trust, in letting go of control and allowing herself to be fully loved. Together, they explore intimacy not as a routine but as an art form, constantly deepening their understanding of one another's bodies, rhythms, and needs. Every touch, every embrace, becomes an affirmation of loyalty, of commitment, of shared purpose. Even as years pass, their passion doesn't fade, it transforms. It becomes quieter, perhaps, but more meaningful. Their connection matures like fine wine, richer, deeper, more complex. They learn that true intimacy is not about constant intensity, but about the comfort of being completely known and accepted. When they hold each other, they're not just embracing the present moment, they're embracing everything they've built together, the memories, the struggles, the triumphs, the silent promises. In each other's arms, they feel a kind of peace that only comes from love that has been tested and proven. Their physical connection also becomes a healing force. When Cancer feels anxious or uncertain, Capricorn's touch steadies him, reminding him of his strength. When Capricorn feels weighed down by responsibility or self-doubt, Cancer's embrace reminds her that she doesn't always have to be in control, that she's allowed to simply be. In those quiet moments, they heal each other without words, restoring balance to both heart and body. Ultimately, their physical intimacy is a mirror of their souls. It's not about dominance or submission, not about fleeting gratification. It's about mutual devotion, about two people finding harmony in the spaces between breath and heartbeat. For Cancer, intimacy is an act of emotional truth. For Capricorn, it's an act of trust. And together, they discover that love, when rooted in both feeling and faith, becomes something eternal. In each other's arms, Cancer feels grounded, his emotions no longer drift aimlessly. Capricorn feels cherished, her strength no longer isolates her. Their connection, physical and spiritual alike, becomes a language of its own, one that doesn't need translation, one that speaks through every sigh, every heartbeat, every shared silence. It's not just love, it's home. Shared values, life goals. At the core of the relationship between a Cancer man and a Capricorn woman lies a powerful alignment of values, one that transcends their outer differences and roots itself in what truly matters: loyalty, stability, emotional and material security, and the desire to build something lasting. While they may approach life from opposite directions, he from emotion, she from logic, they are ultimately walking toward the same destination. It's as though they were both born with an inner compass pointing to the same North Star: a peaceful home, a devoted partnership, and a future built brick by brick with patience and love. Cancer is a man who dreams in feelings. For him, life's greatest treasures are found in moments of closeness: a warm dinner at home, the laughter of family, the soft glow of love that feels safe and enduring. He wants to nurture, to protect, to create a space where hearts can rest without fear. His idea of success is measured not by fame or money, but by how deeply he loves and how well he takes care of those who depend on him. His greatest ambition is to belong, to build a life that feels rooted, meaningful, and emotionally fulfilling. Capricorn, by contrast, dreams in plans. She is the architect of her own destiny, building her world with intention and discipline. For her, success is not merely a goal but a duty, something earned through perseverance, focus, and self-control. She believes in legacy, in leaving behind something tangible and respectable. But beneath her ambition lies the same yearning that drives Cancer: the desire for security, for something real and unshakable. She might express it differently, through structure, achievement, and tangible goals, but her motivation springs from the same well of longing for lasting stability. This shared pursuit of security and commitment becomes their strongest bond. Both despise chaos and superficiality. They're not interested in fleeting thrills or disposable relationships. They want roots, not wings. Cancer offers emotional permanence. Capricorn offers structural permanence. Together, they form a union that's both heartfelt and practical, a relationship that doesn't just survive life's storms, but thrives because of them. When they come together, their goals naturally intertwine. Cancer imagines a warm home filled with laughter, love, and emotional comfort. Capricorn imagines a secure home sustained by effort, wisdom, and financial stability. And what's beautiful is how seamlessly these visions complement each other. Cancer gives life warmth. Capricorn gives it shape. He dreams, she designs. He nurtures the soul of their shared vision. She ensures it stands the test of time. Together, they create not just a home, but an empire, one founded on mutual respect and steady devotion. Their shared values also extend to loyalty and responsibility. Both take commitment seriously. For Cancer, loyalty is an emotional oath. Once he loves entirely. For Capricorn, it's a moral principle. Once she commits, she stands firm. Neither believes in half measures or emotional games. If they promise to be there, they are. This reliability builds an unshakable foundation of trust between them. Cancer feels safe knowing that she won't waver, and Capricorn feels respected knowing that his devotion won't fade when challenges arise. Family often becomes a central part of their shared life vision. Cancer, being deeply tied to home and tradition, longs for a family to love and care for. Capricorn, though initially more reserved, also values the idea of legacy, of creating something that lasts beyond her lifetime. When these two align their goals, they become the kind of couple who not only builds a home but cultivates a family philosophy. They raise their children to value kindness, discipline, emotional intelligence, and resilience, the perfect blend of Cancer's heart and Capricorn's backbone. Even in their professional lives, their shared drive makes them a formidable team. Cancer brings intuition, empathy, and creativity. He knows how people feel, what they need, and how to connect emotionally. Capricorn brings strategy, ambition, and leadership. She knows how to turn dreams into plans and plans into results. Whether they're running a family business, investing in a shared project, or supporting each other's careers, they complement each other perfectly. Cancer reminds her to rest and reconnect with her emotions. Capricorn reminds him to stay focused and structured. Together, they embody the balance of dream and discipline, the heart that feels and the hand that builds. Of course, their shared values don't mean their path is free of friction. Capricorn's pragmatic approach can sometimes make her seem distant or overly focused on goals, while Cancer's emotional sensitivity can seem impractical to her. But even these differences serve a higher purpose. Capricorn teaches him that feelings need form, that love must be built, not just felt. Cancer teaches her that structure needs soul, that success without warmth is hollow. Through each other, they discover that love is both foundation and shelter, both work and wonder. Their shared respect for tradition also keeps them aligned. Both value family, loyalty, and the idea of standing by one another through life's ups and downs. They don't take relationships lightly. To them, commitment is sacred. Divorce, betrayal, and instability are nightmares they actively work to prevent. Instead, they pour their energy into communication, growth, and understanding. Even when life throws challenges their way, financial struggles, health issues, or emotional trials, they don't run. They rebuild, they adapt, they stay. The way they define success also intertwines beautifully. Cancer feels fulfilled when his loved ones are happy, when there's harmony in the home. Capricorn feels fulfilled when her hard work translates into tangible progress and long-term security. When they merge these definitions, success becomes both emotional and material, a harmony of love and legacy. Their relationship, therefore, becomes a perfect metaphor for what true partnership looks like, a balance of feeling and function, passion and purpose. Their values even shape how they love. For Cancer, love is expressed through care, cooking a meal, offering comfort, creating beauty in small details. For Capricorn, love is expressed through effort, working late to provide stability, planning for the future, protecting what they've built. To outsiders, Capricorn's love might look reserved, but to Cancer, it's everything he's ever needed. And to her, his emotional depth is not weakness but proof of strength, the kind that endures when the world grows cold. As the years go by, their shared goals evolve but never drift apart. They both seek peace, purpose, and permanence. They may invest in a home that becomes their sanctuary, start a business that reflects their shared vision, or dedicate themselves to philanthropy, giving back to others what they've built together. Their love matures into something steady and deeply rewarding, the kind of partnership that feels both like destiny and daily effort. Even in old age, their values keep them connected. Cancer, ever sentimental, will cherish the memories they've built. Capricorn, ever practical, will take pride in the life they created. They'll sit together on their porch, him with a warm heart, her with a content smile, knowing they built something that truly mattered. Not a fairy tale, not perfection, but something far more valuable. A shared life, crafted with intention, love, and resilience. In the end, it's their alignment of purpose that makes them such a powerful match. They're not just two people in love, they're two builders, one of dreams, one of realities, united by the same desire to create a life of meaning. Cancer provides the emotional roots, Capricorn provides the structural wings. Together, they don't just survive life's tests, they build a legacy that endures beyond them. Their love is their greatest achievement, their shared values the blueprint, and their life goals the beautiful, lasting masterpiece they create hand in hand. Final thoughts. The love story between a Cancer man and a Capricorn woman isn't a whirlwind romance, it's an epic novel. It's a story of opposites that learn, evolve, and complete each other. He brings warmth to her winter, she brings structure to his tides. Their journey isn't always easy. It demands patience, compromise, and a willingness to see love from each other's perspective. But when they make it work, and they often do, it's a bond that can last a lifetime. Together, they embody the perfect balance between heart and mind, emotion and reason, dream and discipline. He teaches her the beauty of vulnerability. she teaches him the strength of resilience. In the end, their love becomes something rare, not just passionate, not just practical, but profoundly enduring. A union that grows stronger with every challenge, every season, every shared moment under the same stars. Because when Cancer's moonlight touches Capricorn's mountain peak, it doesn't fade, it glows forever.